Social value is about doing, taking that extra mile. As social value in procurement is maturing as a topic, local authorities, NHS, central government are all getting more organized in reviewing not only the social value plans, what you make for bids, but how the social value is carried out. Contracts have been also lost, and some complaints have been raised for non-delivered social value.
I work for Higgins, so we're a developer in the construction industry, and we tend to build on behalf of local authority or housing association clients. And over the last couple of years, what we've really seen is a really big increase in the weighting of social value. So social value now tends to be worth around 10% of the quality of most of the tenders that we're coming across. And that really means for us and our competitors that a social value response can really potentially mean the difference between winning or losing a bid. So those marks have started to become of much greater significance.
For us at Cottage Owners, we've got 35 offices up and down the country. But key to having a realistic and impactful plan for in social value bidding is to have that background structure in place so that you can facilitate all of those clients' different priorities as much as possible.
Just to mention around those partnerships in terms of an efficient manner, how do you do the comms between tech and your co-creation of bid writing, social value management? Communication is really key when you're trying to achieve the social value impact that you want.
And we use What Impact to showcase our social value offers so that they're already out there on the platform, and then when we're matched with someone and the stars align, we can quite quickly press the button, and the fact that we've got this ready-made structure means that we can be realistic when we're making a social value plan in a bid.
But how we can improve and add to that initiative and idea that we've created internally is by working with partners like What Impact to understand who could be local referral partners in the areas that we're working in. So instead of just picking up and shifting this model around, we can actually utilise those organisations and charities already embedded in the communities in these areas to perhaps enhance what they're already doing or add to their kind of money advice offers and things like that. So we're looking at how we can enhance things. And if I just add a kind of a different avenue of how we've used the What Impact portal as well, we looked at an area, West Byfleet, that we'd never worked in previously, so we weren't familiar with the area at all. So What Impact really came into its own then to help us find a really nice small local charity that we would absolutely never have come across without access to the portal. And this charity, the Petersons Fund, absolutely do fantastic work around disabilities and providing care and equipment, and work in an area that we are absolutely not specialist in.
So if I look at the future and the upcoming social value in terms of Leidos and the company, it's increasingly becoming greater and appearing in all parts of the business, from external activities right the way through to even internal activities like I mentioned. It's also becoming a boardroom topic as well, because this is no longer something that is a tick box like I mentioned, or a copy and paste where the weighting is not significant. In some of the bids I'm working on, I'm seeing social value up to 25% of the weighting now. So really can't afford to not have really strong statements and show what good social value in practice looks like. It's influencing the strategy of our company for sure, the way that we capture data and set targets actually, and it's feeding into the marketing content, which is the other way around, whereas in the past perhaps marketing have led, but now social value is leading what we're talking about externally as well. So from a development perspective in the tender market, what I expect a favourable company to look like, a company that takes social value seriously in this coming year, is it's being invited to discuss these things at roundtable discussions like this, having a seat at the table, whether it be in your clients or in governments or in local governments. It really shows that the company is doing something right.
And first we have David Whip, the Strategic Business Development Manager at the Ministry of Defence.
The government has issued through the Cabinet Office, and so you go into .gov, you will find the guide to using the social value model. Within that, I left a note on 2.9, how to apply the model. It is a 10-step process, and that process isn't pointed to us at government any more than it's pointed to you as suppliers to the government. What's interesting and needs enforcing, time and time again, is the fact that when you go into that document and look at it, the pre-market engagement stage is running all the way through to step 7.
Again, this was addressed at the panel earlier, that the 10% minimum weighting does give you a real opportunity to win bids. It's that extra, by just answering a good question, it gives you 10% of the marks of any opportunity. So away from the quality and the cost side of things, this can be the difference between you winning an opportunity and losing an opportunity. So again, by having that rich understanding and being able to develop the knowledge and push it through, it will give you that opportunity. And as I've said there, and as I said earlier, social value is not going away. We're starting to see this being strengthened. Conscious, and I'll hand over to David on this from the government side, is that the government's national social value model doesn't have that sort of quantitative approach in it. It has a more of a qualitative approach. So there's not a numbers-based game on that. But David, if I hand over to you, you'd be a bit better place to answer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the government central government department's social value model, the evaluation is done entirely on a qualitative basis and not a quantitative basis.
One other aspect, what I would like to say, what Simon already mentioned about this, that what you already do, if you have volunteering programs and stuff, they should be strategically harnessed for social value, and kind of they shouldn't be just run from the employee engagement perspective. If you have a volunteering program, it's important that there are some kind of guidelines and coordination, that these precious volunteering hours and days will be harnessed for this kind of strategic social value that supports then the contract work, because not every single volunteering hour can be kind of categorized as social value delivery, because they have to, of course, meet certain social value criteria, which are then tender related. And therefore, management of already existing activities, volunteering programs, different fundraisers and stuff is important, that it's linked with this kind of a sustainable procurement practices and not kept separate.